Let's look at lesson 3, atoms and molecules. This is a small chapter containing concepts of chemistry which, if you look at the video 2 times, you will understand everything. Atoms and molecules. Let me give you an overview of what an atom is. An atom is something which is made up of electrons, protons, neutrons. Electrons are lightweight, protons are heavy, neutrons are also heavy. Protons and neutrons are always present inside the nucleus. Nucleus एक center होता है atom का, and electrons are always revolving around the nucleus in different directions. That's how atoms are formed. But atoms are invisible. And without seeing, how do we know that there is an electron, proton, neutron, orbits, etc.? It's all through experimentation. Atoms, which are made up of electron, protons and neutrons, का example है carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, iron, copper, zinc, metals, non-metals, gases, liquids, everything which is in the periodic table. Periodic table के अंदर जितना कुछ है, that entire thing is called atoms. And another name is elements. तो कार्बन is an element और कार्बन का एक एटम ले सकते हैं. But what is molecule? Some atoms cannot exist alone. Hydrogen, sulfur, phosphorus, chlorine, oxygen अकेले नहीं रह सकते नेचर में. They have become highly unstable. So what do? Wherever we find hydrogen, we don't find it in the form of H. We find it as H2, which is called molecule. Atom of hydrogen, but molecule is H2. S8, phosphorus का P4, chlorine का Cl2, oxygen का O2. So these are called molecules, and molecules are stable. But atoms में nitrogen is an unstable atom. You don't find it as N, you find it in the form of N2. O नहीं मिलता, O2 मिलता है. F नहीं मिलता, F2 मिलता है. Cl नहीं मिलता, Cl2 होता है molecule. Bromine, Br2, iodine, I2. But there are some atoms like iron, copper, zinc, which are available in nature as iron, copper, zinc. तो उनको 2, 3, 4, 5 मिक्स होने की जरूरत नहीं है. They are already stable. तो Fe can be an atom also, and Fe can be a molecule of iron also. Another thing, what will happen when atoms combine with other atoms? What will happen when atoms combine with other atom? तो एक बेसिक चीज समझ लो, एटम प्लस एटम is equal to molecule. Atom of hydrogen cannot live alone. If it combines with another atom, it becomes a molecule of hydrogen. Atom of oxygen becomes molecule of oxygen. This is life, oxygen, but this is poison. and highly unstable. सिंगल O हम सांस लेंगे तो मर जाएंगे, O2 चाहिए हमें जिंदा रहने के लिए. H is unstable, but HH2 is an amazing fuel जिसको जला के हम एनर्जी मिलती है. नाइट्रोजन साइकिल के अंदर नाइट्रोजन आता है, दैट नाइट्रोजन इज अनस्टेबल, N2 इज व्हाट इज यूजफुल. सो हर एक चीज का एक मॉलिक्यूल होता है, बट Fe को दूसरे Fe के साथ कंबाइन होने की जरूरत नहीं. बट व्हाट हैपेंस व्हेन हाइड्रोजन एंड ऑक्सीजन कंबाइन? एटम ऑफ हाइड्रोजन combines with atom of oxygen to form molecule of water. That's how chemistry works. Molecules can be of the same element, like molecule of hydrogen, molecule of oxygen, molecule of nitrogen, or molecule of iron. Otherwise, molecule can be of compounds. Water is a compound. We have done this in previous chapter. So H2O means molecule of a compound. Nitrogen is atom of what? Element. कौन सा element? Nitrogen. O is an atom of what? Element. But when nitrogen and oxygen combine to form NO2, this becomes molecule. Molecule of what? Molecule of a compound. So that is how atoms and molecules are different. Let's understand them together. Starting from the history, it's very, very easy, by hearted for objective purpose. Around 500 BC, someone thought of divisibility. They thought, can we divide everything? No, we cannot divide everything. A small particle of sand cannot be divided further. 500 BC means 2500 years ago. Maharshi Kanad, he kept on dividing things, and those things are called padarth. उसने पदार्थ लिया. पदार्थ मतलब any solid, liquid or gas, and he started to divide it. And divide it, cut it, chop it, grind it, do whatever you want to. He reached to the smallest particle. And when he saw the smallest particle with his eyes, he called it परमाणु. तो 2500 साल पहले महर्षि कनड ने पदार्थ के टुकड़े करके परमाणु बनाया और कहा कि परमाणु के और टुकड़े नहीं हो सकते. इट इज इनडिविजिबल. बट इट इज रॉन्ग इन मॉडर्न साइंस. एटम के पार्ट्स भी होते हैं, बट परमाणु का मतलब होता है एटम. Pakudakatayam said the particles combine to form matter. We have seen in previous chapter what is matter. Everything around us is made up of matter, and matter is made up of particles, and those particles are called atoms. So just general discussion, but please remember Parmanu, Pakudakatayam, Padarth, 500 BC and Maharshi Kanad. Later on, from Greece, a Greek person called Democritus and Leucippus, they said that particles will become indivisible. तुम एक चौक लो, चौक के 2 टुकड़े करो, वो उसके 2 टुकड़े करो, उसके 2 टुकड़े करो. Finally, you will get particles of chalk, and these particles will be indivisible. And this indivisible thing is called atom, meaning indivisible. Atom का मतलब ही होता है indivisible. But is atom really indivisible? No. So this is all philosophy and very little experimentation. Democritus, Leucippus, Maharshi Kanad, Pakudakattayam, all these people were great thinkers. They thought. They did not experiment. They did not have gadgets or laboratories to do experiments. Therefore, up till this line, everything is called philosophy. Philosophy मतलब ख्याली पुलाव, जो सच थे बट कोई प्रूफ नहीं था, प्रूफ देने की पोजीशन में नहीं थे वो. But in modern science, who started chemistry in a proper manner? Antoine L. Lavoisier. He is the father of chemistry. He laid the foundation of chemical science. तो आज जो chemistry एक subject है, that is thanks to this person, Antoine L. Lavoisier. What did he do? Lavoisier gave two important laws. The law of conservation of mass and the law of constant proportions. Law of conservation of mass and law of constant proportions. These two laws were given by Lavoisier and Joseph L. Proust by experimenting it. एक्सपेरिमेंट कर करके लैबोरेटरी में प्रूफ रिकॉर्ड करके लेवोसियर और जोसेफ ने दो लॉ दिए. लेट्स लुक एट बोथ द लॉज वन बाय वन. फर्स्ट इज लॉ ऑफ कंजर्वेशन ऑफ मास. लेट्स से देयर इज अ वेइंग स्केल. The weighing scale which shows the weight. On that weighing scale, you put 25 gram carrot. 25 grams का carrot एक रखो. Then break the carrot into two pieces. Same carrot. Will it show less or more? It will still show 25 only. This is called law of conservation of mass. तोड़ने के पहले और तोड़ने के बाद गाजर के मास में कोई फर्क नहीं है. मास पहले का और बाद में का सेम है. वैसे केमिस्ट्री में रिएक्शंस होते हैं. सिंपलेस्ट रिएक्शन इज द एक्ट ऑफ थिंग डिसॉल्विंग इन अदर थिंग्स. टू डिसॉल्व इज केमिस्ट्री. तो टेक 20 gram sugar and put it into 100 grams water. What will you get is 120 grams of sugary water. Left hand side का total 20 plus 100 120 और right side का total भी 120. And this is called law of conservation of mass. एक्स्ट्रा मास बना नहीं सकते और जो मास है वो गायब नहीं हो सकता. A carrot when broken into two pieces, क्या वो 25 की जगह 50 ग्राम हो जाएगा? Impossible, because you cannot create mass. या 25 ग्राम का एक कैरेट है, उसके दो टुकड़े कर दो तो क्या वो 5 ग्राम हो जाएगा? No. Therefore, this law is called law of conservation of mass. Let's look at it in more detail. Law of conservation of mass. If there is a change in the mass when a chemical change takes place, or is there a chemical mass? Is there change in the mass when a chemical reaction takes place? That we have to see. आंसर आएगा नो. This is one of the chemical reactions where sugar and water are mixing with each other. Did the mass change? No. Law of conservation of mass tells you that in a chemical reaction, the total mass before the reaction and total mass after the reaction remains same. Meaning, law of conservation of mass states that mass can neither be created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction. Copper sulfate and sodium carbonate, CuSO4, Na2CO3. What are these? These two are copper sulfate is a compound which, let's suppose you take 50 grams. Sodium carbonate, let's suppose you take 25 grams. When these two reacts with each other, what is formed is copper carbonate, CuCO3, and sodium sulfate, Na2SO4. That's called chemical reaction. चीजें बदल गई है, atoms बदल गए, molecules बदल गए, but if you observe, the total mass is still the same. तो ये एक random example है where 50 gram copper sulfate reacts with 25 gram sodium carbonate. What is made is copper carbonate 10 grams, sodium sulfate 65 grams. The total remains same, 75 grams, 75 grams. We cannot create mass, we cannot destroy mass, the mass remains constant. That's called law of conservation of mass. और टेक्स्ट बुक में 3 केमिकल्स है जिससे एक्सपेरिमेंट करने को बोला है, बेरियम क्लोराइड एंड सोडियम सल्फेट, lead nitrate and sodium chloride. But it's not important. What is important is the concept that mass never changes. Before the reaction and after the reaction it remains same. ये अरेंजमेंट कैसा है? That in the small test tube you have, it's called ignition tube, you have solution X, and in the big flask you have solution Y, and solution Y और X अभी फिलहाल मिक्स नहीं हुए, तो इसका वजन करोगे तो 75 ग्राम्स होगा. Then you mix it, and after mixing also the weight will not change, the mass will not change, it will remain the same. Second law, the law of constant proportions. What do you mean by this law? Let me first explain the law. एक फैमिली में बहुत सारे कजिन्स है, फैमिली में बहुत सारे कजिन्स है. ए और कजिन्स के पास चॉकलेट्स है. A has 2 chocolates more than B. C has 4 more than 3 times B. D has 6 less than B. E has 5 more than A. In this scenario, we don't know who has how many chocolates, but one thing we can do, we can take somebody as the reference. Number of chocolates X करके सम सॉल्व करते हैं, वैसे यहां पे भी let B be the reference. मतलब B के हिसाब से सारे इक्वेशंस लिखो. A has 2 chocolates more than B. A is equal to B plus 2. C has 4 more than 3 times B. 4 more than 3 times B. D has 6 less than B. B minus 6. And E has 5 more than A. 5 plus A. But A could be plus 2. Observe, every single person has some chocolates. And that chocolate is in relation with B. मतलब B को हमने रेफरेंस बना लिया। अब अगर हम कहें कि लेट्स से B हैज X चॉकलेट्स, तो हमको सब के नंबर पता चल जाएंगे। किसके पास कितनी चॉकलेट है वो पता चल जाएगा। A के पास X plus 2, C के पास 3X plus 4, इसके पास X minus 6 और इसके पास X plus 7. But we still don't know what is X. But technically we know how many each has. तो ना पता होने के बाद भी पता है. That is this law. I will attempt one more time to explain you. एक्सपेरिमेंट कर करके कुछ ऐसे पता चला. मास ऑफ ऑक्सीजन इज 5 more than 3 times nitrogen. Mass of hydrogen is 6 less than half of carbon. Mass of carbon is 3/4 of oxygen. Mass of iron is 5 times mass of copper. By doing experiments, we have found out these relationships. When you write these relationships in the form of equation, what happens? Oxygen का वजन is 5 more than 3 times nitrogen. Hydrogen is 6 less than half of C. Carbon is 3/4 of oxygen. And iron is 5 times copper. Now, if I take carbon as reference, lot of things are going to become simple. मैं अगर कार्बन को रेफरेंस चूज करूं, मेरे को किसी का वजन नहीं पता है, मास, बट मुझे रिलेशनशिप्स पता है. आई एम सेइंग लेट द मास ऑफ कार्बन बी X. तो हाइड्रोजन का मास मिल गया X/2 minus 6. And carbon is X is 3/4 O. तो ऑक्सीजन का मास मिल गया 4x/3. और ऑक्सीजन मिल गया 4x/3. तो नाइट्रोजन मिल गया 4x/3 minus 5, 4x minus 15. 15 plus 9, 4x minus 15 upon 9, ऐसा कुछ. तो एक कार्बन को X लेने का फायदा, हर एक के रिलेशनशिप से हर एक का मास मिल जाता. That is law of constant proportions. Now let me go into the detail and explain this law. The law of constant proportions. Everything react and form a compound in a fixed proportion. Everything react and form a compound in a fixed proportion, no matter who made it, how it was made, or where it was made. कहने का मतलब है, यूएस में, अलास्का में या इंडिया में 30 डिग्री टेम्परेचर में, -30 डिग्री टेम्परेचर में, या 50 डिग्री टेम्परेचर, 1000 फीट हाई पे, या अंडर वाटर, या 2000 फीट अंडरग्राउंड, तुम कहीं पे भी ट्राई टू मेक वाटर, पानी बनाने की कोशिश करो। पानी बनाने का इंग्रेडिएंट इज हाइड्रोजन, ऑक्सीजन, and what you get is water. You will find out that the ratio of how much hydrogen and how much oxygen used is always 1:8. मतलब ध्यान से देखना, हाइड्रोजन का टैंक है, हाइड्रोजन लिया 2 ग्राम्स, 6 ग्राम्स, 10 ग्राम्स, 12 ग्राम्स, एकदम फिक्स अमाउंट ऑफ हाइड्रोजन इज टेकन, और ऑक्सीजन लिया है अनलिमिटेड, बहुत ज्यादा। What do they get? Water plus unlimited oxygen use नहीं होगा, remaining oxygen. So this is an experiment designed by the scientists to find out this law. 2 ग्राम, 6 ग्राम, 10 ग्राम, 12 ग्राम हाइड्रोजन लिया मेजर करके, ऑक्सीजन अनलिमिटेड है, और हाइड्रोजन ऑक्सीजन जब मिक्स होते हैं तो पानी बनता है। Now what they observed is, एक काम करते हैं, अनलिमिटेड नहीं ले सकते, ये रिमेनिंग ठीक है। So they take 100 grams of oxygen. When the experiment was over, they found the amount of water which was made was 18 grams. और यहां पे जितना रिमेनिंग ऑक्सीजन था वो था 84 grams. So what did they observe? 100 ग्राम ऑक्सीजन लिया था, वो 84 बन गया। कितना यूज हुआ? 100 माइनस 84, 16 ग्राम्स ऑक्सीजन यूज हो गया। और पानी कितना बना? 18 ग्राम, बिकॉज 2 ग्राम हाइड्रोजन, 16 ग्राम ऑक्सीजन इज 18 ग्राम वाटर। सो ये 16 इज द रिजल्टिंग फैक्टर, द रिजल्ट जो एक्सपेरिमेंट करके पता किया, 16 ग्राम्स। ओके, सेकेंड एक्सपेरिमेंट में they took 6 grams hydrogen, 54 ग्राम वाटर बना, 52 ग्राम ऑक्सीजन बचा। So scientists said that 100 ग्राम में से 52 ग्राम ऑक्सीजन बचा है, तो कितना यूज हुआ होगा? 48 ग्राम। एंड 48 ग्राम ऑक्सीजन प्लस 6 ग्राम हाइड्रोजन का टोटल 54 होता है, जितना पानी बन गया। फिर 10 ग्राम लिया, 10 grams of hydrogen, they found out 90 gram water was formed, 20 gram oxygen remained. 100 ग्राम में से 20 ग्राम बचा, 80 ग्राम यूज हो गया, एंड 80 ग्राम प्लस 10 ग्राम इज 90 grams of water. So I hope you understood that they kept on doing this experiment, and every single time they found out what के हाइड्रोजन और ऑक्सीजन का मिक्स होने का रेशियो फिक्स है 2:16, 6:48, 10:80, मतलब 2/16, 6/48, 10/80. All these ratios are one and the same thing. They are all 1:8. So after hundreds of experiments, they found out that water around the globe, whether in US, Alaska or India, whether in medium temperature, low temperature, high temperature, whether above the ground, under the ground, or inside water or basement, wherever you make water, the ratio of hydrogen and oxygen is 1:8 by its mass. वजन के हिसाब से 1:8 रेशियो में हाइड्रोजन ऑक्सीजन मिक्स होता है. That's called law of constant proportions. Similarly, they did an experiment with ammonia, जिसका फॉर्मूला है NH3, and they found out the ratio of mass as 14:3. And this is called the second law, the law of constant proportions, given by Lavoisier and Joseph Proust. So this led to the law of constant proportions, which is also known as law of definite proportions. दो नाम है, law of constant proportion and law of definite proportion. The law was stated by Proust, Joseph Proust, as in a chemical substance, the elements are always present in definite proportion by mass. In a chemical substance, the elements are always present in definite proportion by mass. You and me का रेशियो क्या है? तो वो रेशियो बहुत सारे हो सकते हैं. मेरा मास और तुम्हारे मास का रेशियो 2:1 है, बट मेरी हाइट और तुम्हारी हाइट का रेशियो अलग है. तुम्हारी इनकम, मेरी पॉकेट मनी और तुम्हारी पॉकेट मनी का रेशियो 10:1 है. सो तुम्हारा और मेरा रेशियो, लेकिन तुम्हारा और मेरा क्या? तुम्हारा और मेरा मास, तुम्हारा और मेरा हाइट, तुम्हारा और मेरा पॉकेट मनी. व्हाट? केमिस्ट्री के अंदर molecules are formed by fixed ratio of mass, nothing else. Chapter continues, discussion continues. So first two laws के बाद the third topic is the discussing the next problem faced by the scientist is how to explain these laws and how to find out the structure of atom. So a British scientist, John Dalton, gave the atomic theory. Atomic theory मतलब एटम कैसा है, क्यों ऐसा है, एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा, क्योंकि एटम देख नहीं सकते हो, तो आज भी हम एटम को देख नहीं सकते. John Dalton's theory was based on these two laws of chemical combination. So what we have done till now is we have done two laws of chemical combination. That's how it is called. Two laws of chemical combination, where the first law is law of conservation of mass. मतलब मास पहले का और बाद में का सेम रहता है. And second is law of constant proportions. दो चीज को अगर मिक्स होना है तो उसका रेशियो फिक्स होगा. And based on these two, Mr. Dalton gave his atomic theory. He explained the atom and he said in short that all matter, all elements, all compounds, all mixtures are made up of atoms. और एटम के बारे में उसने क्या टिप्पणी की? So this is a short note of atomic theory given by John Dalton. He said everything is made up of atoms. Understandable. Then he said atom is indivisible. You cannot divide an atom. You cannot create an atom. You cannot destroy an atom. That is also correct. Same elements have same mass. मतलब अमेरिका में जाके आयन का एटम का मास फाइंड करो, इंडिया में करो, वो सेम ही होगा because iron is iron. So same elements have same mass, same elements have same physical qualities and chemical qualities. It does not matter कहां से आया, वो सेम होता है. But different elements always have different mass, different physical properties and different chemical properties. तो इंडिया के अंदर गुजरात की किसी भी लैबोरेटरी में बाजू बाजू में सोडियम और कॉपर रखा है, फिर भी वो दोनों अलग होंगे. सेम जगह बनाए, सेम जगह पैदा हुए, लेकिन अलग है क्योंकि नाम अलग है, एलिमेंट्स अलग है. So same elements have everything same and different elements have everything different. Elements always combine in ratio of small whole numbers. Elements का जो combination होता है that is in the ratio of small whole numbers. मतलब drinking water H2O is 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen. So this 2 and 1 are small numbers. Ammonia is NH3, nitrogen 1, hydrogen 3. This 1 and 3 are small numbers. Carbon dioxide, carbon 1, oxygen के 2 atom. This 1 and 2 are small numbers. But law के हिसाब से carbon dioxide, water और ammonia they are not joining with each other based on number of atoms का ratio. एक कार्बन 2 ऑक्सीजन के हिसाब से कंबाइन नहीं होते. There is a hidden combination. वाटर का हिडन कॉम्बिनेशन है 1:8. वो मास के हिसाब से मिक्स होता है. अमोनिया का हिडन कॉम्बिनेशन है 1:... 14:3. ये रहा, टेक्स्ट बुक में भी है 14:3. बाय मास. एंड कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड का 3:4 बाय मास. सो दुनिया में जितनी भी चीजें मिक्स होती है they always mix on the basis of the ratio of mass, not on the basis of ratio of their atoms. And sixth, the number of atom and type of atoms are fixed. यूएस में जाके पानी मांगो तो भी H2O मिलेगा, इंडिया में पानी मांगो तो भी H2O मिलेगा, मार्स पे पानी मिलेगा तो भी वो H2O ही होगा. What is there inside H2O? H and O. And how many H and O? All this is fixed. That is John Dalton's atomic theory, which is a very important 2-mark question. You have to remember. तो जैसे यूक्लिड ने ज्योमेट्री के बारे में बेसिक चीज समझाई थी, वैसे जॉन डाल्टन ने एटम के बारे में बेसिक चीज समझाई है. This is very basic. What is an atom? So atom is a small part of every element. It's basically a building block. पूरी दुनिया इससे बनी है. Atoms are very small. They are smaller than our imagination. We cannot imagine कि कितने छोटे होते हैं atoms. For example, एक पेपर उठाओ हाथ में, पेपर की जो थिकनेस है, दिस इज द थिकनेस ऑफ पेपर. इसके अंदर 1 million atoms are arranged, one on top of each other. मतलब 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1000, लाख, 10 लाख, करोड़, 10 करोड़, 10 करोड़ एटम्स को एक के ऊपर एक रखो तो कितनी थिकनेस मिलेगी? एक पेपर जितनी. That's how small atoms are. And this is the radius of the atoms given, which you have to by heart for objective purpose. Atomic radius is measured in nanometers. Radius इतना छोटा है, सेंटीमीटर में नहीं, नैनोमीटर में. So 1 upon 10 raised to 9 meter is 1 nanometer. Remember this, 1 upon 10 raised to 9 meter. मतलब 1 मीटर के 1 बिलियन टुकड़े करो तो वो कितना मिलेगा? 1 नैनोमीटर. 1 मीटर इतना होता है, फ्रॉम द टिप ऑफ योर राइट हैंड अप टू द शोल्डर ऑफ लेफ्ट हैंड. दिस इज 1 मीटर. और वो 1 मीटर के 1 बिलियन टुकड़े करोगे तो 1 नैनोमीटर मिलता है. सो 1 मीटर इज इक्वल टू 10 raised to 9 nanometer, और 1 nanometer is 10 raised to minus 9 meter. What is the radius of hydrogen? 10 raised to minus 10. Molecule of water 10 raised to minus 9. उससे बड़ा hemoglobin, hemoglobin से बड़ा grain of sand, and this is what we can see. 10 raised to minus 4 meter हमें आंखों से दिखता है, ant दिखती है, watermelon दिखता है, but sand से छोटी चीज हम नहीं देख सकते because the size is very less. We might think that if atoms are so insignificant in size, why should we care about them? This is because our entire world is made up of atoms. The atom भले छोटा है, but everything is made up of atoms. Hence we study the atoms. ये कुछ नहीं है. डाल्टन अपने जमाने में केमिस्ट्री में चीजों के सिंबल्स बनाए थे. So these are only for objective purpose. That what are the Dalton's symbols for hydrogen? It's a circle with a dot. Carbon, it's circle with gray color. Oxygen is just O. Phosphorus is this shape. Sulfur, iron, copper, lead, silver, gold, platinum and mercury. सिर्फ और सिर्फ ऑब्जेक्टिव में पूछेंगे. रिमेंबर देम, द सिंबल्स गिवन बाय मिस्टर जॉन डाल्टन. बट इज दिस अ गुड सिस्टम? नो, दिस सिस्टम वाज डिसकंटिन्यूड एंड अ न्यू सिस्टम केम. हाइड्रोजन मतलब H, कार्बन मतलब C, ऑक्सीजन O, फॉस्फोरस P, सल्फर S, iron Fe, copper Cu, lead Pb, silver Ag, gold Au, platina Pt, mercury Hg. So nowadays we don't draw anything. We use alphabets as symbols for understanding the names of the elements. So this is a brief history. It's very easy. The name of elements were given by scientists who found them. जिसने ढूंढा उसने नाम दिया. तो एक साइंटिस्ट साइप्रस में घूम रहा था. साइप्रस आइलैंड्स का नाम है. और साइप्रस में घूमते घूमते उसको एक एलिमेंट मिला. तो साइप्रस के बेसिस पे से उसने नाम रख दिया कॉपर. एक भाई साहब को येलो कलर का मेटल मिला. और उस जमाने में इंग्लिश डिक्शनरी में येलो मतलब गोल्ड था, उसने उसको नाम गोल्ड दे दिया. So names of elements have been given haphazardly. So what to do? Nothing. Give them symbols and create a structure. Who created this structure? IUPAC. IUPAC एक इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है जिसने पूरी दुनिया के लास्ट 500 साल के जितने भी एलिमेंट्स है उनको गैदर किया, सैंपल बनाया, एनसाइक्लोपीडिया बना के उनको नाम, सिंबल, मास, एटॉमिक नंबर सब कुछ दिया. So IUPAC is like United Nations, the most powerful organization in chemistry. International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. तो IUPAC ने डिसाइड किया कि ये साइप्रस से कॉपर ने येलो से गोल्ड नाम तो रख दिए, बट अब हम सिंबल से काम करेंगे. और सिंबल के रूल्स है नो नंबर्स, ओनली लेटर्स. फर्स्ट लेटर ऑलवेज कैपिटल, सेकेंड ऑलवेज स्मॉल. तो कार्बन सी है, कैपिटल सी. कोबाल्ट CO है, तो कैपिटल सी स्मॉल ओ. अगर मैं दोनों को कैपिटल लिख दूं तो ये कार्बन मोनोऑक्साइड हो जाएगा. सॉरी आई फॉरगॉट, यू कैन नॉट सी दिस. सो सिंबल्स में C फॉर कार्बन, CO मतलब कोबाल्ट, तो ये CO क्या है? दिस इज कार्बन मोनोऑक्साइड. Therefore they say that second alphabet has to be small. Na is sodium. अगर Na ऐसे लिखा तो ये केमिस्ट्री नहीं है, ये इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज है, नॉट एप्लीकेबल. सो रिमेंबर, aluminium is Al, not Al. Some of the names are easy, some of the symbols are easy. Chlorine का symbol Cl, zinc का symbol Zn. तो आयन का symbol I होना चाहिए, but I was already taken by iodine. तो आयोडीन ने I ले लिया था, तो आयन का क्या किया? तो आयन का पुराना नाम था फेरम और फेरम से दे दिया Fe. सोडियम का पुराना नाम था नेट्रियम, नेट्रियम से आया Na. पोटेशियम का पुराना नाम था केलियम, केलियम से आया K. क्योंकि सोडियम को S नहीं दे सकते, वो सल्फर ने ले लिया. पोटेशियम को P नहीं दे सकते, वो फास्फोरस ने ले लिया है. एंड ऑफ द डे इंग्लिश अल्फाबेट्स आर 26 एंड केमिस्ट्री में रफली 119 एलिमेंट्स आते. Therefore, लैटिन, जर्मन, ग्रीक लैंग्वेजेस में से नाम लिए. लैटिन नेम फेरम, नेट्रियम, केलियम, जिसमें से सिंबल आया Fe, Na, K. Basically, this is the chart which you have to by heart, which has the names and the symbols. Tomorrow 12 p.m. quiz on this part of the chapter, and second half we'll do it in next time. Thank you.
The laws of chemical combinations created ripples in the stagnant pool of chemistry. They enabled scientists to carry out various experiments that helped in forming strong foundations in chemistry. However, the laws still needed experimental evidences and proofs. Only then would they be accepted. It was around the first decade of the 19th century that a chemist and a physicist from England named John Dalton was successful in answering many questions. He proposed a theory which was then known as the Dalton's atomic theory. With this theory, many concepts regarding matter, composition of matter, atoms, and even combinations of atoms resulting in compounds were better understood. Okay, let's first take a very quick look at the 6 major postulates of his theory. First, he said that all matter is made up of very tiny particles called atoms. Secondly, he suggested that atoms are indivisible particles which cannot be created or destroyed in a chemical reaction. Third postulate was atoms of a given element are identical in mass and chemical properties. Similarly, fourth postulate was that atoms of different elements have different masses and chemical properties. Fifth postulate stated that atoms combine in a ratio of small whole numbers to form compounds. And lastly, the relative number and kinds of atoms are constant in a given compound. I know I just rattled off the postulates. Don't worry, let us now understand each postulate one by one by taking the same example of elements A and B giving rise to compound C. The first point stated that all matter is made up of very tiny particles called atoms. It means that when we go on dividing matter into smaller and smaller sections, what we get at the end is atoms. So can we say that elements A and B are made up of atoms? Yes, in fact, compound C is also made up of atoms that have combined together. So the first postulate was very easy to understand. The second postulate was that atoms are indivisible particles which cannot be created or destroyed in a chemical reaction. Now, what do we mean by this? Yes, it means that atoms are like the fundamental units. Dividing them further is not possible. Also, in a chemical reaction, atoms may combine together to form new units. However, no new atoms can be created and existing ones cannot be destroyed. So in this case, the atoms of element A and B are just combining to form compound C. So can we say that no new atoms are formed in this case? Yes, and similarly, no atom is destroyed. Let's move on to the third one now. The third postulate states that atoms of a given element are identical in mass and chemical properties. If we zoom into the element A, we find all the atoms that make up element A are just the same. And in what sense are these same? The atoms have identical mass as well as chemical properties. In simple words, the third postulate states that all atoms of a given element are identical. And does this explain the fourth postulate too? Yes. The fourth postulate states that atoms of different elements have different masses and chemical properties. So are we able to notice that atoms in element A are different from those in element B? Absolutely. And in what sense are they different? Atoms in element A and B have different masses and even different chemical properties. In simple words, it states that atoms of different elements are different. The fifth postulate states that atoms combine in a ratio of small whole numbers to form compounds. Now, what do we mean by this? In this chemical reaction, we find elements A and B reacting and giving us the compound C. If we observe well, a unit of compound C has 2 atoms of element A and 1 atom of element B, right? So aren't these whole numbers? Yes. This means that in any compound, the elements are always present in a ratio which comprises of whole numbers. You will not find half or 3/4 atom combining with the other. In case of water, we always have 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom combining to form 1 unit. In 1 unit of carbon dioxide, we have 1 carbon and 2 oxygen atoms. The same holds true for all compounds. The number of atoms of a particular element in a compound will always be a whole number. Now for the last one. The sixth postulate states that the relative number and kinds of atoms are constant in a given compound. The same explanation that compound C has 2 atoms of element A and 1 of element B makes us understand this. Yes, if we scan compound C, we will always find 2 atoms of element A and 1 atom of element B in a single unit. And this is applicable for all compounds. We've already looked at 2 examples, water and carbon dioxide. In case of 1 unit of water, we always have 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. And in a single unit of carbon dioxide, we have 1 carbon and 2 oxygen atoms. Carbon monoxide has one atom of each, that is carbon and oxygen, while one unit of ammonia always has one nitrogen atom bound to 3 hydrogen atoms. So the number of atoms will always be constant in a unit of a particular compound. In a nutshell, all these postulates help chemists to further understand behaviors of elements and the compounds formed from them. But for understanding these elements and compounds, knowing the concept of atoms is necessary. Let's get to know what exactly these atoms are, how they exist, their mass, and many such interesting concepts in the upcoming videos.
Of chemical combinations. In an era of scientific advancement, scientists found themselves amidst questions pertaining to fundamental principles of chemical combinations. Chemical combinations were studied, and these laws were theorized as the law of conservation of mass. The law of conservation of mass was established by French chemist Antoine Laurent Lavoisier in 1789. According to this law, the mass of the substance produced in a chemical reaction is always equal to the mass of the reacting substances. Therefore, the law of conservation of mass states that mass can neither be created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction. Let us now consider the example in which magnesium reacts with oxygen to form magnesium oxide. Here, mass of 1 mole magnesium is 24 grams. Total mass of 2 moles magnesium is 48 grams. Mass of 1 mole oxygen molecule is 32 grams. So the total mass of reactants is 48 plus 32, which is 80 grams. Mass of 1 mole magnesium oxide is 40 grams. Total mass of products is 40 and 40, which is 80 grams. Therefore, it is clear that the total mass of reactants is equal to the total mass of products. Also, the number of magnesium atoms and the number of oxygen atoms on the reactants and the product sides are equal. Let's move on to the second law of chemical combination, which is the law of constant proportion. This law was stated by a French chemist, Joseph Louis Proust. It is also called the law of definite proportion. According to the law, in a chemical compound, the elements are always present in definite proportion by mass. The law of definite proportion applies when elements react together to form the same product, such as pure water collected from different sources such as a well, spring, or a river. As such, a water molecule contains 2 hydrogen atoms, each of relative mass 1 gram, and 1 oxygen atom of relative mass of 16 grams. This means that there are 2 grams of hydrogen and 16 grams of oxygen in 18 grams of water. So in a water molecule, hydrogen and oxygen are present in the ratio of 1:8. The example shows the application of law of definite proportion. We will now learn about the law of multiple proportions. This law was proposed by John Dalton around 1800. This law states that when 2 elements combine to form more than one compound, the different masses of one element that combine with the same mass of another element are in the ratio of simple whole numbers. Let's try to understand through an example. Carbon combines with high concentration of oxygen to form carbon dioxide and low concentration of oxygen to form carbon monoxide. In carbon monoxide, 12 parts of mass of carbon combines with 16 parts of mass of oxygen. In carbon dioxide, 12 parts by mass of carbon combines with 32 parts by mass of oxygen. The ratio of the masses of oxygen that combine with a fixed mass of carbon is 16:32 or 1:2. Therefore, we can see that different masses of one element that combine with the same mass of another element are in the ratio of simple whole numbers. Things to remember. Law of chemical combinations are: law of conservation of mass, law of constant proportion, and law of multiple proportion. The mass of the substance produced in a chemical reaction is always equal to the mass of reacting substances. In a chemical compound, the elements are always present in definite proportion by mass. Different masses of one element that combine with the same mass of another element are in the ratio of simple whole numbers.